Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name, after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
There we go. Okay, so we are going to start sitting side saddle on our seat. So if you like, and I just kind of, for like that ease of transition, I sort of put my chair towards the front end of the mat. That way, when we get to like the legs of the wall and the lunging portion, I don't have to fuss with my chair too much. So all of that being said, we are going to sit in a little side saddle seat. And if you can, so this was where I was playing around with like what might feel good. If you can arrange it, this might be just kind of like chair depending. Get into that hip dip lunge where you let the hip drop down and then rotate to the back of the chair. And then you kind of readjust as you go so that once you get into your twisted position, then you can let the hip get a little heavier. So see how that feels. And then just see if you can slow your breath down. Take one more breath here. And then see if you can slowly come up and out. Unwind the twist part of that positioning, and then see if you can just do a couple little hip dips just to kind of re-engage that side body. So lift the hip up and lower it down. Wiggle it just a little bit, not too much. And then maybe take it into that forward and back, just front pocket of the jeans forward and back, just to kind of move a little bit, but again, not too much. And then when you're ready, we're just going to kind of swivel around to the other side. So take your time, spin yourself around, get into that sort of hip dip lunge, twist towards the back of the chair, and then renegotiate the hips so that it gets nice and heavy, and then just soften back into your breath. Take one more breath here. And then slowly, slowly, slowly start to lift out of your twist. And then once you're out of your twist, if you can, get it into that sort of 90-90 lunge, and then take it into that little hip dip, drop the hip down and hike it up. And just take a few times just to kind of re-wake up the side of the body, engage the muscles. And then if it feels good, take it into that front and back motion. And then once you've reawakened those muscles just enough, not too much, then we're going to pivot around and we're going to go hands to the low side of the chair, step yourself on up, and then we're going to go for a nice wide leg. So we're going to call it a wide leg dangle, but it almost might feel a little bit more like a wide leg down dog, but like super wide. So we'll go for like as like wide of a leg position as you can. And then you're gonna fold. I like my arms on the chair and I let my head kind of hang through the space of my arms, but you position yourself in a way that feels good and beneficial, right? So maybe it's upper back body that needs a little something. Maybe you prefer to sort of dangle all the way down to the floor. So find a shape that just might feel good. Because wide leg folds can be just really nice for our nervous system. So just think of this as sort of what would feel good to your nervous system right now, and then see if you can just soften into your breath. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly walk yourself up and out of that wide leg position, up and out of that fold. So take your time. And then as you come back and think tabletop position at the low side of the chair, just a couple little bops of the hips, just a little wiggly movement through the spine, anywhere where you might feel a little bit of that sensation of dull ache. And then when you're ready, we're going to take it into a lunge. So for me, I'm going to step my right foot up, but slightly wide. And then I'm going to step my left leg back. So go for a lunging position. I'm going for a knee down shape, but I did play around with this idea that you could do a lunge with your foot on the chair and holding onto the tall side of the chair. So if that feels like something you want to investigate, by all means, take a moment to do that. And then once you found a lunge that feels pretty good, just lean into the seat of the chair. Find a lunge that feels just right. Notice your breath. All right, now we're going to take this shape and bring it back to half splits. You're going to rock back, but go for like half splits that feels kind of soft, right? So like a really good bend in the knee, a nice lift of the foot. It's only a 1 minute hold, but soften into it just as much as you can. You want to feel like there's that little bit of positive stress in the back of the leg. So think hamstring muscles and preferably the meaty portion of the hamstring muscles. So nothing zinging you up in the butt and not too much in the back of the knee. Take one more breath. And then slowly rock yourself out of that half splits. And then we're going to set ourselves up to the other side. So find your way around to the lunge on the other side. I'm going left foot forward to the outside of my chair leg and then readjusting along the way so that I can kind of lean into the low side of the chair, but pick a lunge that feels good, that feels like a good positive stress, but let the chair kind of give you that little bit of support. So find your support and then just come into your breath. Take one more breath. All right, now we're going to change position so we find that half splits. So readjust. And then once you've readjusted, hips back, a little bit of tension in the back of the leg, and then soften your knee just enough so that you're not putting too much stress anywhere that doesn't feel good. And then just notice your breath. Take one more breath. All right, and then slowly rock yourself out of that half splits. And then we're going to take our time to come down, sitting on our butt, butterfly position, so that we can fold into the low side of the chair. If you want support around the hips for butterfly position, get your pillows, tuck them around your hips, or get your blanket and tuck them around the hips. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. And then we're going to lean into the low side of the chair. So find a shape that feels just right. Adjust along the way so it feels good, positive stress, but not too much. Take one more breath. And then slowly lift yourself out of the fold. We're gonna take a light figure four-ish shape with our butt on the ground. So if you like, send your left leg nice and long, bring your right leg across the left, so you're in that sort of seated figure four. And then you're gonna take left hand fingers and interlace them between your right foot toes. So you're going to do that toe spacer with the left hand, and then the right hand thumb is going to do that pressure point, that bubbling brook. So that space, that groove between the big toe, second toe, and the ball toe mound, you're going to push into that spot. So you're going to hold the toe separator and hold that little bit of an acupressure point with a gentle pressure, and then just let your breath slow down. Take one more breath. All right, and then slowly unlace your fingers, release that pressure point, give your foot a little loving smush. And then when you're ready, we're gonna switch. So right leg is gonna go nice and long. Left leg is gonna come into that figure four shape. Right hand fingers are gonna interlace between the left foot toes. And then once you've got your fingers interlaced between your toes, then the left hand thumb is going to do that nice bubbling brook acupressure point. So find your interlaced fingers and then find your pressure point, and then all you got to do is breathe. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, slowly release. Let go of that pressure point, unlace your fingers, give your foot a little loving smush. And then once you've lovingly smushed your finger out just enough, bring your legs into Sukhasana. Crisscross applesauce your legs. Find a nice, tall, comfortable seat. Rotate gently to one side. Get a little bit tall. Look over your back shoulder. Take a breath. On your next in-breath, unwind your twist. And then as you exhale, take your twist over to the other side. On your next in-breath, unwind your twist. Right hand's going to touch down, left hand's going to reach up, tip over to the right. Take a little bit of a lateral side bend. Take a breath. Breathe into the side of your rib cage. Lift out of your side bend. Keep your right hand on the ground. Left hand's just going to touch down, let's say, to your thighs. And then you're going to keep that right hand on the ground with a nice long reach, and then drop your left ear over to your left shoulder. Take a big breath in. On your next in-breath, lift your head up. Left hand's going to touch down, right hand's going to reach up and over, tip over to the left. Get that lateral side bend. Breathe into the side of your ribs. On your next in-breath, come up. Right hand's going to just touch to the thigh. Left hand's going to stay on the ground, but now we get those tented fingers so that it's a little bit more length. And then drop your right ear over to your right shoulder and come back to your breath. Awesome. On your next in-breath, lift your head, come back to center, take 3 little calves and kittens. No extreme range of motion here. Inhale, gently lift your heart just a little. Exhale, round your back just a little. Inhale, lift your heart just a little. Exhale, round your back just a little. One more time. Inhale, lift your heart just a little. Exhale, round your back just a little. And then we're going to come down onto our back. We want the ability to put our legs up on the chair for a figure 4 shape. And then to finish with a possibly legs up the wall if that's going to feel good. So just have your props nearby wherever you might think you want them so that you can adjust along the way. And then come down onto your back, scoot your bum nice and close towards the chair. We're going to go right leg across the left into a figure four, and then we're going to think about sliding the leg in a little bit closer to the edge of the chair. So a closed in figure four, if that feels good, but if that feels too tight, then move it away just a little bit. And then once you're in a shape that feels pretty good, arms just come out nice and wide, focus on your breath. Take one more breath. All right, now we're going to change shapes. So slide your legs away from you just to create some space. Uncross the right leg. Left leg comes across the right. And then slide it in, bring it closer to the end of the chair. And then once you're there, all you got to do is breathe. Take one more breath here. And then slowly slide your leg away, uncross your legs, and then just bring them to a point where you can do a little light windshield wiper action, just something soft and soothing, nothing extreme. We're going to take one round of Uddiyana Bandha, or that abdominal vacuum, and then we're going to head into our Shavasana. If you're going to go legs up the wall in Shavasana and you're going to put a little prop underneath your hips, put it there already for the Uddiyana Bandha, for that abdominal vacuum. If you are going to want your blanket underneath your heels or anywhere else, take a second, put it somewhere where you think you're going to want it to be. I'm going to go with my blanket under my hips for that light elevation of the hip surface. So go get your props all set up where you'll want them to be, or where you'll want them ready to be. And then we're going to place our legs up on the chair. We want our feet in a dorsiflex position. So just walk your legs out a little bit. Think long lever hip bridge shape. Feet in that dorsiflex position. Arms are going to come out nice and wide. And you're going to think for a moment about reaching your elbows away from your heart space, and then reach that elbow energy out to the fingertips. Hands are going to stay together. And then see if you can just find that nice long back of your neck. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Take a breath. Inhale, breathe into your rib cage. Let the rib cage open and expand. Try to maintain that open shape with the rib cage. It will recoil slightly, but try to maintain it just a little bit for that intentional work. And then exhale nice and slow. Let the abdomen draw in. Inhale, expand and open the rib cage. Try to maintain that shape. Exhale nice and slow. Push gently into your heels. Create a little bit more length in your spine. Last cycle of breath. Reach your arms away. Press gently into your heels. Inhale, fill your rib cage up. Exhale slowly. At the end of your exhale, you prepare, swallow, close off the nose and throat, or pinch your nose closed, keep your mouth closed. Don't let any air in. And then if you're doing the pinched nose, you want to look for that plunger effect, or just hold it all closed naturally. And then take a fake inhalation. If you go for the pinch the nose closed, once you've got that plunger action, then you want to start to play around with the idea of holding the plunger action, but releasing your hand because you know what you're doing. You've already got the technique fired up. And then you want to see, can you hold and maintain that closed off glottis? So that's like the next step. If you're pinching the nose closed, you want to learn how to pinch the nose closed and then release it. So when you feel ready, if you're probably already there, relax the breath and then just start to find your soft shape. Legs up the wall if that feels good, legs in a butterfly position, legs down on the ground, anything that might feel good. And that could include coming up to a seated position. So whatever might feel like a shape that you could find a little bit of stillness and just let your breath come in and out at a nice, slow, natural pace. Keeping your body as still as possible and keeping your breath in that slow, regulated rhythm. See if you can just start to gently open your eyes. And then you're just going to let your eyes focus on the ceiling, just a soft gaze, nothing specific. And then you're going to see if you can hold that soft gaze on the ceiling and start to turn your head to side to side. So your eyes are going to stay looking upward towards the sky, and your head is going to gently turn from side to side. One more turn of the head from side to side, and then head's going to come back to center. And now head is going to stay in a still steady position. Then the eyes are going to look from the left to the right. One more look of the eyes from the left to the right. And then bring it back to center, blink out anything that you need to. And usually we go like rapid eye movement, but this one just go for like a pace that feels right to you. So nothing specific, but eyes are going to come back to center, eyes looking up towards the ceiling. And then the eyeballs, just the eyeballs are going to look up and down. One more up and down, eyes come back to center, blink out anything that you need to. And then we're going to finish with diagonal. So go up to the left, down to the right. One more diagonal there, come back through center, blink out anything that you need to. And now we're going to finish with that last diagonal up to the right, down to the left. One more diagonal eye movement. And then bring your eyes back to center, blink them out, start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, move any other little gentle parts that like that nice, gentle reawakening. Notice your breath, and then slowly, if you can, take it into that nice long reaching stretch, just finding that big yawning stretch, pandiculation, engaging the muscles, finding a little space in the body. And then in your own way and at your own pace, slowly find your way up to a comfortable seated position. So maybe that's a comfortable seated position on the chair, or maybe it's just a comfortable seated position on the ground. No right or wrong for that one. Just to find a seat that you can come back to yourself with. So whatever that might look like or feel like. And then once you've got your comfortable seated position, we're going to give ourselves a hug. So I'm going to make sure I say that before I get my hands around the microphone. So one hand on top, one hand, if you can, one hand on the rib. Give yourself a squeeze yourself, and then breathe into that squeeze. When you feel ready, release that hug, maybe just give a little shrug of the shoulders, and then we're going to hug to the other side. So now you're going to wrap your arms around, if you can arrange it, one hand on the ribs, one hand wraps around, tight squeeze, wrap yourself up, and then breathe into the squeeze. All right, and then when you're ready, slowly and gently release, and hands are going to come right into Anjali Mudra, prayer hands to heart center, and then just gently bow your head to your heart. Take a nice gentle breath in. Let your shoulders soften on your exhale. Offer up a little bit of gratitude for your mind and your body. A little bit of gratitude for your chair, for your floor, for the walls around you, the ceiling above you, and the time that you take to take care of yourself. And then when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. You are amazing.